Hello, welcome to another project on my video. Today we're going to make this fun little easel card. However, we're making it for a different purpose. My daughter had asked me to make her a cell phone holder, and so I wanted to make one that was kind of propped up a little bit, and this one is, and I'll show you why in a second. But I also wanted to make one that would hold a tablet too. So I went with this. I haven't tested it with a tablet yet, but I'm pretty sure it will hold a tablet. It holds a phone great. And also, when you're not using it as a phone holder, you can use it as a frame. You can display a photo here if you want to, or you can just lay it flat and leave it flat. But the other thing is that underneath here we have a drawer. So you can pull out a drawer and you can store stuff in it while it's sitting on your desk, and it makes a really great phone holder. And I'm going to show you how I made it. It's really simple. I took the idea of the easel card for the top portion, and then I just added a drawer to the bottom. And I did see stuff like this on Pinterest. I saw the easel card with the drawer. So it's not my original idea. I was inspired by Pinterest, but I worked out the measurements and made it on my own, so that's why I'm sharing it with you. So to get started, we're making it 5 by 5, which was a good size to hold a cell phone, I think. And also then a photo if you wanted to display. And I'm making mine out of chipboard. So you're going to need quite a bit of chipboard. I used two 12 by 12 pieces, and I didn't use all of it, but I did use a lot of it. So you're going to need quite a bit of chipboard. And then paper, essentially. So let's get started. Now, I need 12 by 12 paper, but I don't have any. So I had to get creative, and I just glued two pieces of 12 by 12 together to create a longer piece. Okay? And the first thing that we're going to put together is the drawer. For the drawer, you need one piece of chipboard that is 4 7/8 by 4 7/8. And you're going to set that down, and if you're using a piece 8.5 by 11s that you stuck together, put it right on the center, right where you combine the two, because then your seam will be on the bottom of the drawer and it won't be seen at all. Then you're going to need 4 pieces that are 4 7/8 by 4 7/8, and what you're going to do is place them around your square. I'm sorry, these are not 4 7/8 by 4 7/8. They are 4 7/8 by 1 7/8. And you're just going to place them around your square and give yourself an eighth of an inch space. Okay. Try to make sure that they're even. Your box fitting together will work better if you take the little extra time to make sure that your spaces are even and your sides are lined up. Okay? Then once you have them like this, flip it over. And apply pressure to make sure that they all fit. And then we're going to cut off the sides just to give us a more manageable piece of paper. And if you have done this with a 12 by 12 sheet of paper, you don't need to do this step because you'll already have a manageable sheet of paper. Okay. There we go. Alright. Next, we're going to start off by cutting up our edges. I'm just going to go ahead and cut all of these in. It's going to make the next step a little bit easier. I'm just cutting by all the sides. And the last one. Alright, then we're going to remove this strip and that strip. And you're going to do that on both sides. And it does not need to be exact. See, that one's really wonky, but it's not going to matter because it's not going to show. Alright. Last one. Okay. So when you're all said and done with that cutting, this is what you have left. Okay? What we want to do now is we're going to take these little squares and we're going to cut in diagonally like that, and then we're just going to remove the edges, and I'm also going to angle the corners just to help. So this is what you have left then. Okay? It's cut here and cut there. Let's do it again here. We're going to cut in to the point right there. And then I'm just going to cut some of it off because we don't need the whole triangle. And then cut some of that off. Alright, let's do it again. This one, that one, and then give it a nice angle. And the last one. Okay, there we go. Now when you're all done, this is what it looks like. Now you're all done with your cutting. Okay. Now we just are going to fold up all of these white pieces, just kind of bend them up around your chipboard. Because what that's going to do is help you when you're ready to stick them down, because they're already pre-creased. Okay. Easy peasy. Next, we're going to put our adhesive. And here's what we're going to do. So this is one side here. On one side, we're going to put the adhesive on here. So I'm going to put the adhesive on this flap right here. Okay, and then I'm going to turn it around, and I'm going to skip this flap and put the adhesive on this flap. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm only putting adhesive on one flap, and then I'm skipping this one and putting adhesive on this flap, and then this one has it, okay? Now I'm going to remember this one here does not have it. I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to start with this one, and I'm going to put adhesive on this side. Turn it around again. Skip this one, and put it on this one. Oops. Skip this one, and put it on this one. And skip, and put it on this one. Okay? Then we're going to turn it over again one more time, and we're going to apply adhesive to all of these long rectangles. It's much, much easier to apply the adhesive before trying to stick anything down. Alright? So now we're all finished with that. Our first step is going to be, we're going to fold these up, and the flap that has adhesive on the outside is going to go in and line up to your it's going to go in and line right up next to your you're just going to line up your edges there. Okay, same thing on this side. This one's going to go in, line up your edges. Okay, this side too. Oops, sorry, I'm off camera. This one's going to go in, and you're going to line up your edges again. Okay, and then this last one is just a little bit harder. Whoops, see, I undid it. Just kind of make sure you're working it inward. Okay, line it up and adhere it down. Okay, line it up and adhere it down. Now we've got all of those stuck down. Now what you want to do is go around and you're going to tightly press these around the outside. And what that does is it's going to cover up the edge of the chipboard that you can see there. You're just covering it up, helping it to look a little more finished. Okay, and now that's what you have. Now we're going to go inside, take your bone folder, and adhere, put some pressure on both corners to make sure that you have a really good stick. Alright, now the next step is to fold these inward. Whoops. Just folding these in, then lay it down again, and you're just gonna kind of work them into the creases as best you can. Just like that. And my puppies just got in. And then, so when you're all finished, this is what it's going to look like. Okay, so you have your drawer. Then you're going to cover the inside, which you can do one of two ways. You can either just put little hinges on there, or you can put one strip of paper on there. I'm going to do that part last though, so I'm just going to leave this. We're done with this for now, okay? Then we're going to take another piece of paper here, and this is another one that I have stuck together because this one you need it longer, so you're going to have to do this one. 8.5 by 11, and I stuck 2 pieces together because it's going to end up longer than 12 inches. So no matter what, you have to stick them together. Then you're going to take a piece of chipboard that is 5 by 5, and you're going to place it on your seam. And it's not directly centered on the seam because you need enough space over here. Okay? So here's my seam right here. But it is on the seam so that the seam will be on the bottom. This is the bottom of the box then. Okay? Then you're going to take this piece and we're going to attach it here. And this time, I'm going to make my gap just a teeny bit bigger. Just a hair. Okay. Then this piece is 2 by 5. This piece here is 5 by 5. Okay, there we go. And then lastly, another 2 by 5 piece. Just like that. Okay. Then before I turn it over, I'm going to cut a little away on this side. You need about an inch all the way around for wrapping. Everything else you can just remove because you don't need that much paper. And the more paper you have, the more adhesive you're going to have to use to hold it down. And also, the more complicated it is to work with. So I just like to remove what I don't need. Okay, now this is what you're left with, okay? I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to adhere it down really well. Okay? Then I'm going to turn it over one more time and I'm going to work on this side. And I'm going to remove the corners. Okay, and now this is what we have left. Now, we're going to take our bone folder and we're going to work this one up. Pulling the paper nice and tight. So that we can get a nice clean edge there. Adhesive along the edge of the chipboard and also along the edge of the paper. And then pull super tight because you want a nice clean, crisp edge there. It helps it look nice and professionally made. Wrap in your corners here. And then the other side, we're going to do the same thing. Adhesive along both edges. Okay, and then push it on there nice and tight, like so. Okay, then work all of your folds. And lastly, we're going to fold these up, but we're not going to adhere them the same way. These are going to be what holds your box together. Okay, so now we have this. What we're going to do is put adhesive on the outside of one side. I'm sorry, the inside of one side. Okay, just like that. And then we're going to flip it over, and on this side, we're going to put the adhesive on the outside. So just like our drawers, one of them is going to connect to the inside of the box, and one of them is going to connect to the outside. Now we're going to take our drawer, find which side is going to be your front. I like to pick which side is the nicest looking. That's my front. And then we're going to wrap this around it. And the reason we do that is because then it fits better. Okay, so I wrapped it around. My internal, the piece that I put the adhesive on the outside is on the inside of the box. Okay. I have these lined up. And then this piece is going to just fold over to the outside. And just like that, we have our drawer. Which is a little bit snug, but that's okay. Mine is catching on something on the inside. What are you catching on? Okay. Alright. There we go. After you work it a couple of times, it's definitely going to be, it's going to cooperate better. What is keeping it from coming out the way that I want it to? Alright, well, I guess this is going to be my front. It decided for me because something is keeping it from coming out on that side. It must be this piece right here. Alright, well, anyways, this is your box and your drawer mechanism. Okay? You figure out which way works best. Sometimes you might need to maneuver some stuff, and I have a little piece of paper there that's not sticking down. So what I'm going to do is just, I'll put a little piece of glue on there and it'll stick. Okay, but then you can see this is your front. You're going to cover this with paper so you won't even see this little hinge that we used once you're all done. Alright, so now for the easel part of the card. You need a piece of paper that is cut to 5 by 10. So I'm going to cut this one down. 5 by 10. Okay. Then we're going to put this into our scoreboard. We're going to score this at 2.5 and 5. Okay. And then we're going to fold it just like that. And then this one is going to fold just like that. Okay, Now this part here, this lower half of this fold, is what's going to attach to the card front, essentially. So you would take a piece of 5x5 paper and put it up here and only attach it to this lower half. But what we're going to do, because I wanted my back of my card to be sturdy, is I've got a piece of chipboard. This is chipboard that I've already covered with white paper, except for a little bit on the bottom, but that's okay because that part won't show. And what we're going to do is this is going to get attached to this, and that's going to become our card front. Okay? Excuse my dog barking. This is going to attach. I'm putting adhesive below my score mark. Okay? Don't put any above your score mark. This is what's going to create the easel portion. Okay? And then I'm going to line this up. I like to line it up with the top part because then I know it's going, and then I don't have to worry about the sticky part on the bottom. Once it's lined up at the top, it'll be lined up at the bottom. Okay. Flip it over and put some steady pressure on there. And then this is how your card is going to work. It's going to fold up like that. Okay. And now this part is going to get attached to the top of your box. If you want to, if you don't want to do the whole drawer part, you could just have the card easel and use this to hold your cell phone. I would put chipboard then on the bottom part too, just to make it a little bit sturdier, but it's not, I don't think it would hold your cell phone if you didn't, but you could play around with it and see. I wanted mine to have a little bit of height, so that's why I chose to do it this way. Okay. So now we have our card on there. Okay. That's how it's going to work. So next up, we need to, I just need to do a tiny bit of touch up because I didn't quite get it straight. So I have a little tiny bit of this card hanging over the front. And if I don't trim it off, it's going to bother me. Okay. So now, all you would do is put your pattern paper on, whatever kind of pattern paper you want to put on here. You're going to stick a piece to the front, a piece to the inside, and then to your covers or to your drawer front. Okay? And then after you've done that, you're going to create your stopper here. And how I did that was I just took 2 pieces of scrap cardboard or chipboard and I cut them to the right size. The size that I needed them to be. They're 5 inches here, and then they are, I think I made them about a ½ an inch, maybe a little less. That part doesn't matter as much. I taped them together. This is a height of 2 of them. And then I wrapped them with some coordinating pattern paper and stuck them there. Because what that does is this part holds your cell phone then to keep it from sliding off the front. So you just need to do that. And I'm sure I covered this, and I'm sure you saw it in the beginning, the front or the picture. If I took a picture of it, hopefully I did, remembered, and posted that with it. So I will see you all again. I hope you enjoyed this project. I hope you try to make it. If you have any questions, feel free to email me and I will get back to you. And I will see you all again with another video really soon. Bye-bye now.